Face-off X for Fairfield. And Crosby Matthews, the freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia, for Delaware. It's Delaware in blue. They move left to right to start, and Fairfield, the home team, on senior day in white. Face-off initially controlled by the freshman, but it is Fairfield, Will Fox, that came away with it, and then a whistle after the possession, and Fairfield will have it. Well, Andy Copeland, the 9th-year head coach for Fairfield, he began his Fairfield coaching career against the Delaware Bluehens, so sort of fitting from his perspective that Bob Schillinglaw's last game comes against Fairfield.
Early on, I think it's going to be interesting to see the pace of play that Coach Copeland and the Fairfield Stags want to go through today. Delaware, normally known for a high-paced game, I think Fairfield should try to slow the ball down and control the time of possession today, and I think that's going to be one of their strategies to win the game. Delaware
took 53 shots last week against Drexel, a lot of them off cage. Here's a first opportunity for Fairfield, pulling it wide was Fleming, and that didn't go out of bounds. It went off the back of a defender in Connor Lally. And he was able to recover it, and Delaware will clear. This was an area for the Blue Hens last week in which they struggled clearing the ball, but successful on the first attempt today. There's Will Hirschman in the first line midfield. Hirschman balanced from a scoring standpoint, 16 goals, 17 assists on the season. Joe Eisel back at X.
Delaware had, like you said, 54 shots last week, but they didn't shoot very well. They took low-angle shots, not high-quality shots, and the location of the shots was not where you want to put it. So I know Coach Schillinglaw talked about, improving their quality of shots going forward today.
Here is Eisel again, back behind that X. Here's a feed up to the top right alley, and a save on the first shot of the game for Tyler Berry.
Early on, you see Fairfield playing a little bit of zone. What they're telling Delaware is that, you know what, we'll let you take those shots. We think our goaltender is up to the task, and we'll let you guys shoot from 10 to 12.
And that was something they did last week in the win over Towson. Tyler Bering saw the ball incredibly well, and like he did a moment ago, a fairly easy save for the netminder. And Fairfield coming off their first win in conference of the season against Towson. Delaware is still looking for their first conference win of the year. Here's a dodge from Joe Rodriguez. He's been as hot as anybody for Fairfield. Panepinto got his first game action last week. The senior starting last week. Up a shot from the left side, whistling out of bounds. That one might have grazed Collin Burke on the way out. There you see Matt DeLuca, a huge target as a freshman, 6'6" in goal. Turning around and beating DeLuca is Collin Burke. And Burke gets Fairfield on the board a few minutes in.
Collin Burke, just a sophomore at Fairfield, leading the team in points. He was a player of the year last year as just a freshman, so that kind of tells you what type of player he is. He really is he's got all the tools that you need. And the play there was exactly a display of it. Driving the defenseman, getting an angle, and just stepping away and taking a great shot to the far pipe. A great effort by one of the best players in the country.
Andy Copeland describes as a lax rat, loves to watch a ton of film. And he was the player of the year last year, but he had some senior guys around him. This year, he had to develop and grow into a new role, taking on a little bit more of that defensive emphasis.
Yeah, I think some people would describe it as a sophomore slump, but I actually would disagree with that. I think he's played well. He's just garnered a lot more attention for good reason, and it's just going to take a little time about how to handle that, how to handle the top defenseman on the opposing team, and I think he's gotten better as the season has gone on.
And it's a great position for a freshman to come into with a couple senior guys around you where you might not be the focal point. And then you're right, there is a maturation process in the next year. Here's Sharp. Fairfield getting the first goal of the game. They lead 1-0, 3+ minutes in. Panepinto goal line extended to the near side. He's got Lally on him. Panepinto comes back up top. Here's Drew Murray, 10 points on the season. His older sister Kylie played here at Fairfield for the women's lacrosse team a couple years ago. Dodge towards X, a hard hit taken by Panepinto. He gets right back up to his feet. Stepping in on the face dodge, here's Ford. Travis Ford, the reigning CAA Rookie of the Week, draws 4 blue jerseys around him, and they create the turnover. Delaware moving quickly the other way. Eisel spins, turns, fires, and scores. Joe Eisel quickly ahead. The slide came late, and he put it home.
This starts on the other side of the field. The defenseman for Delaware, Connor Lally, makes a great ground ball, moves the ball up to Eisel, who does a great roll dodge. And I like how he releases the ball right out of the dodge. It makes it very tough for the goaltender to see the ball, who left the inside pipe open, and Eisel finds it.
When you're an attacker and you see in transition the defender over pursue a little bit, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, especially in that position, because you would prefer to be in the middle part of the field. So if he's forcing you to that middle part of the field and you're a strong lefty, that's a perfect opportunity, and Joe Eisel just does a great job taking advantage of it.
Face-off won by Matthews for the moment. He couldn't pick up the ground ball, though. And Will Fox has it again for Fairfield. Here come the Stags. Logan Williamson, the long pole, stepping in. And he will head off as Fairfield gets the right personnel on. Dave Fleming holding on right now, a senior. Fleming, 4 years ago as a freshman, scored a goal in his first career game. Happened to be against Delaware. Fleming to the dodge, gives off to the left side, Panapinto. Back at X they go, flag down, delayed penalty coming up on Delaware. We're about 5 minutes in, tied at 1. Quick stick in front, goal for Fairfield. Joe Rodriguez continues his hot play in conference, and the Stags are back on top.
Just some good ball movement here, and you can see Collin Burke actually has his defenseman hung, and that allows for him just to kind of sit back there and feed. More importantly here is Joe Rodriguez, just some off-ball cutting, hard to teach. He has had the hot hand for Fairfield as of late. I love the off-ball cutting and a better finish.
It's his 13th goal in CAA play for Joe Rodriguez. And that just in 4+ games. You're talking about 4 games and about 5 minutes of game action. Changing the face-off X, Joe Delasho comes in for Fairfield, and whether it's Fox or Delasho, both are doing a productive job in the face-off X.
Yeah, you really don't see a tandem face-off group like that, where you really have guys kind of changing up who's going to take the face-off, and I think it's a really nice utility, really nice tool that they can use and find out whose style is doing, is working better against the opponent.
Both teams have guys that have taken 100+ face-offs this year. In front, that stop stayed by DeLuca. Rebounded by Delaware, and they feed it back to DeLuca. He'll outlet ahead quickly. Here's Alex Brunner, defensive midfielder. Brunner has played in every game this year, 17 career games coming into this season. Almost matching his career total in 2017 with the 15 games played. Fairfield a 2-1 lead early on. Delaware getting the first midfield on. Here's Hirschman again with 33 points on the season. They swing it back up to the left side. Trooper Ortlieb. Hirschman straight away, a little 1-3-2 look for Delaware as they circle out of that.
Matt, as you can see, the zone, it kind of gets into the offensive's head, and there's no dodging. What you're seeing right now is just they're moving the ball on the outside, and they're not challenging the defense. And, you can see some careless passing, but an effective zone can really get in the offensive team's head and get them out of their groove.
Sam Murphy had knocked that pass down. Here's Roman Jelly. Low shot, stopped down low by Bering. And like you said, getting in their head, that shot forced a little bit.
Yeah, great inside roll dodge. He tried to get some more angle, but Tyler Baring just stepping out, cutting off the angle, getting his first save of the day.
There's Collin Burke stepping it in. Is Fairfield able to outlet without much of a problem. 7:50 to go in the first quarter. A 2-1 Fairfield lead. Goals by Collin Burke, the sophomore, and the hot hand of Joe Rodriguez. Burke figuring in both with a goal and an assist. Dodge from Panapinto. Burke drawing the slide of Brian Pickup. Burke sitting back at X like he set up the last goal a moment ago. He comes out goal line extended, tries to turn, double team sliding over to him. Eyes up as he feeds it back up towards the top of the box. Roll dodge from the right side, whistling high over Matt DeLuca's head.
I have to say, both teams playing pretty well right now. You really haven't seen too many turnovers, too many unforced errors. So both teams came out with a lot of intensity and concentration. Impressed by both teams so far.
There's Nassman. Well, Delaware, Fairfield, pardon me. They beat Towson last week, but before they took the field, they had known the final as Burke draws the foul. So delayed penalty coming up. Fairfield knew they were not making the CAA tournament, and even with that, they still went out and beat Towson, got their first conference win. Ball still around, wind up top, a shot saved by DeLuca. And that'll stop play, delayed penalty coming up. And Fairfield will go man up.
Right now, Collin Burke has really had the advantage with his defenseman. Connor Lally, number 17 on Delaware, has been playing against him. And Collin Burke has just been using the net as sort of a pick and a distraction. He's gotten him hung a couple times. He's gotten Lally confused. And I think he really needs to make an adjustment and slow down Burke. As you can see here, Collin Burke just gets the ball with a really good angle, and he's able to drive, and Connor Lally, which is sort of a cross check, and draws the flag there. I really want Connor Lally to make it tougher for Collin Burke to get the ball. With that position, Collin Burke can kind of go either direction and took advantage of it.
So as a defenseman, you would take a bit more of a tact of trying to ball deny. First man up chance for Fairfield today, 6.5 to go in the first quarter. Feet behind, across it comes. Quick passing for Fairfield, top shelf goal. Drew Murray dialing it up. And the extra man goal for Fairfield as they take a 3-1 lead.
Drew Murray, just his 5th goal in the season. Fairfield moving the ball incredibly sharply. I love all the passes are right in the box, and Drew Murray gets it out of his stick incredibly quickly. DeLuca is unable to save it.
Burke getting the hockey assist. Charlie Horning setting that up. Horning, an interesting story. He was at Villanova, and his younger brother, who will be here next year as a freshman, had already committed to Fairfield. So he decided, hey, you know what? We will overlap my senior year, and he's going to play with his brother next year.
Another face-off win for Fairfield. We talked about it earlier, time of possession and face-offs are just a huge part of that. The other thing is goaltending. Tyler Baring had a recent save before that, right on the doorstep. So you're seeing those two things, and Fairfield's able to control the clock, control the pace of game, and I think that's going to be a huge part if they're able to get the win today.
6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Fairfield up on top early, 3-1. Quick stick in front once more, and Fairfield is dialing it up early. Dave Fleming connecting with Collin Burke. Delaware taking a timeout as Collin Burke creating all sorts of havoc from X. And Fairfield's offense is clicking right now.
Collin Burke is really just having a day today. He's able to do what he wants. As you can see there, Collin Burke just able to pick apart and find the open guy in the crease.
Andy Copeland standing in the middle of that huddle. In his 9th season, a Bucknell graduate, 2-time CAA regular season champs. They only came into this league 2 years ago, so they've been impressive so far, 15-16 in the conference, and he was the 2015 CAA Coach of the Year. He was the youngest head coach at the time when he got his first head coaching job at Marist, and then went over to Maryland to be an assistant before getting the Fairfield job. and Bob Schillinglaw, somebody somewhere in there. Of course, Bob Schillinglaw in his 39th season. There he is. Big highlight there, 2007 Final Four, 6 NCAA tournament appearances. And he and former UMass head coach Dick Garber, they're the only coaches to win 300 games at one school. And Bob Schillinglaw coaching in his last game today. And he was very deferential, always a very team-first guy, didn't really want to talk about himself too much. When I asked, what are you feeling, what are you thinking about going into this game, he said, well, we really want to get the seniors a win and send them out on the right note.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the game for 39 seasons, you're not there because you're a bad guy. And you talk to anyone in the lacrosse community, and you only hear the greatest things about Coach Schillinglaw. What he's done for the game, and specifically Delaware program, is really remarkable, and it's going to be a huge loss for him not being here next year.
He said it was always an easy place to recruit to. The campus was great. It was an excellent conference. And I'm sure if you put him in the plus mark on the Delaware side when he was trying to recruit, he might downplay that a little bit as well.
Delaware is really going to have to find a fix for the Fairfield face-off team. They're going to maybe have to put some more pulls up there, because right now Fairfield is just controlling every part of the game. Delaware needs to find ways to get more possessions.
The face-off game, and Collin Burke at X dancing around has set up this offense quite well for the Stags. A 4-1 lead as we're in this first quarter. Double team sliding over to Fleming. Fleming, the 2014 ECAC Rookie of the Year, before Fairfield switched into the Colonial Athletic Association. Burke again, Fleming, quick stick, stopped in front by DeLuca. Rebound outside of the crease, scooped up by Delaware. Delaware a little trouble on the ride, but they find DeLuca and then move it ahead.
Big save by DeLuca. He's made a couple of doorstep saves today. That big body of his is able to eat up a lot of cage. Fleming unable to kind of put it away, so big opportunity there. Big break by Delaware. Their offense really hasn't had the ball much, really hasn't been able to get in the groove, and this zone has really prevented that.
DeLuca, two-time high school All-American at Farmingdale on Long Island, and coming in starting 11 of 12 games that he's played in so far in his freshman year. Inside 4 minutes to play in the first, Delaware has just the one goal. And this zone has caused all sorts of trouble for them. Here's Eidenschink coming over on the slide.
Yeah, my issue with the way the Delaware offense is going right now is that they're almost treating it like a man up. They're trying to find the open guy, they're trying to rotate it, and sometimes you really just need to forget that it's a zone and attack it. Dodge guys, have picks, really get the defense, trying to slide and play your regular game.
Shot clock is on for Delaware. Up top for Hirschman, steps into it, easy save for Tyler Berry. Much like we talked about at the beginning of this game on the first Delaware possession, they will settle for that outside alley shot all game long. There's Matt Sharp moving it ahead for Drew Murray. Murray taking a couple steps in, move to the right side, crank shot, goal, Fairfield. Dylan Beckwith, the starting attackman, getting in on the scoring action.
This really starts with the clear. They catch Delaware off guard, and they have an actually extra guy on the offensive end. Delaware is sliding with two guys. Beckwith with a really creative shot, low to low, to the far corner, and DeLuca, being 6'6", is unable to get down and make the save.
So Fairfield, at least in the start of this game, looking like the team a lot of people expected preseason-wise. And trying to finish strong, winning their last two conference games. Towson last week and Delaware today. Dick Hervada to Delaware, but the face-off won by Fairfield. Quick shot, and it goes wide. It's Ryan Antell. Fairfield's offense so far this game, they've been dynamic. They've had multiple opportunities, multiple looks at you. Sharp with the short stick on him. Swinging around for Panepinto. There's Murray again. Pass deflected by Brian Pickup. And the ground ball to Fairfield, so they hold on to the possession. Dylan Beckwith on the ground ball. Beckwith quick stick in front. Burke turns, fires, blocked in front. And the ground ball scooped up by Alex Brunner, who I think caught the brunt of that shot. Here comes Delaware quickly in transition, broken up by Fairfield. Ball loose on the doorstep, shoveled ahead, and high over the crossbar. That one almost snuck by Tyler Bering if it was on cage. A whistle on a flag coming down. I think we're getting an offsides call. So it looks as though Delaware will go a man up for the first time today.
Fairfield penalty, assessment number 28, Travis Ford.
Big opportunity for Delaware just to stop the roll that Fairfield has been on. They've scored a number of goals right in a row, and Delaware really hasn't had too much possession, so big opportunity to get another one on the board as a man-up opportunity.
Bryce Reed, the freshman, coming in. He's played in the last 5 games, including the Drexel game. Shot going wide from Romagnoli. Joe Eisel to the right side. Back behind they come for DeLargy. And the 4 goals last game. Penalties released. We're back to 6-on-6. Minute 13 to go in the first quarter of play.
Fairfield really packing it in on their man-down defense, forcing the outside shot. Delaware is trying to be patient, trying to find the guys in the crease, but man, was Fairfield really compact and not allowing that.
And a different look for Delaware after so many shots last week, the 50-plus shots against Drexel. There's not been a whole lot of shooting opportunity against Fairfield tonight. Romagnoli left side, and Delaware passing it around. They already had the shot clock turned on once in the quarter. 30 seconds show on the clock. Hirschman crosses over. Romagnoli shooting wide. That might have been the best look that Delaware's had today.
Yeah, Romagnoli has really got to take ownership of the ball a little bit. He's their point scorer. He's their leader in offense. We haven't called his name too often, and I really think he's got to start attacking his defensemen to really create some offense.
He scored a point in 18 straight games dating back to last year. Tries to cut inside. A save by Berry. Here's Einenschink bringing the ball up for Fairfield. 2 seconds to go. They'll sit on it as the first quarter comes to an end. But couldn't have asked for a better start on senior day for the Stags. A 5-1 lead at the end of the first quarter in the last game of the regular season. Boy, Collin Burke doing it all early on. Back at Fairfield, Matt Shortis, Rob Anglekey with you. In that first quarter, Collin Burke having himself quite a quarter, goal, 2 assists, getting his 100th career point in only his sophomore season.
I think the biggest stat takeaway, Matt, is that officially we were given is that Delaware was 0 for 7 on faceoffs in the first quarter. So they really need to find a way. If they're going to come back, they really need to find a way to start winning some faceoffs.
And on that note, Joe DeLascio, the junior, winning the faceoff for Fairfield, but ball going towards the sideline, kept alive by Delaware, and it's Fairfield who ends up getting it knocked out of bounds by the Blue Hens. As Joe Eisel was trying to ride, and Fairfield will start with possession. Yeah, that's so huge. It didn't feel like Fairfield had that many more possessions because the time of possession that Delaware had, but Fairfield struck pretty quickly when they had it. The Stags going to work in the second quarter. Up top, here's Panapinto. Fleming now with a couple. There's Burke, and we're going to whistle. And a turnover. There's Delaware quickly on the restart. Matt Ulbrich, left side, tic-tac-toe passing, shot fake goal. Delaware putting it in, Joe Eisel. And both Delaware goals today have come in unsettled situations.
Yeah, you can see how much Delaware loves to get up and out, how much faith they have in their defensive middies. What happened there was that there was a moving pick. The Fairfield offensive midfielders ran off the field, and the defensive midfielders for Delaware stayed on the field, so they actually came down on a 5-on-3. And the Delaware attack moving the ball very crisply. Eisel able to finish it on the doorstep yet again.
Eisel, a breakout year for him, played in 15 games off the bench and into the starting attack this year. He has over 30 points on the season. Another face-off win for DeLascio and Fairfield. Here's DeLascio shooting on the run. Easy stop for DeLuca, stick side high. Delaware pushing the tempo again. Charlie Kitchen back to the left side for Roman Gali. Left side, a save by Tyler Barrett going across his body to make the stop. Now here's Fairfield pushing ahead the other way. Antel. Straight away, it's Burke. Burke tries a little worm burner, that goes wide. And Fairfield was backing up.
Just some good full field lacrosse. Both teams pushing the ball. Tyler Baring, that was an outstanding save. I love that take that the Delaware midfielder took. But Tyler Baring, as you said, coming across his body, saving it, you know, stick high, off stick side. Really impressive.
Rodriguez a little trouble with it, able to gobble it back up though. And Rodriguez getting it back on the right point. Dodges, dumps off to the left side, crank and fire wide off the stick of Rodriguez. He was calling for that one. Panapinto up top for Nassman. Nassman will check into one, and that one just grazing past the crossbar.
I really like the adjustment that Coach Schillinglaw and the Delaware defense has made. They're really extending number 17, the defenseman Lally, on Burke behind the goal. They're not allowing Lally to get hung up or have an easy pass to Burke, which I think was the right thing to do.
Yeah, he was almost Gretzky-esque, just kind of sitting back there in the first quarter. In tight, Rodriguez coughed it up, and Delaware is going to just smack it down into the crease and allow Matt DeLuca to try and clear this thing. And here come the Blue Hens. They've scored 2 goals in the game, both in unsettled situations, trying to find their first 6-on-6 chance. Here's a quick turnaround shot by Kitchen going wide. Interesting choice. The whole midfield for Delaware hadn't even got back onto the field.
Fairfield staying in the zone defense, which was incredibly effective in the first quarter. They were 100% on defense in the 6-on-6 version, and that's a big reason why, is because that zone defense was just a stalwart, only allowing outside shots, with Bering was just eating up.
Andy Copeland said they anticipated kind of switching back and forth, but if it's working, why go away from it? DeLargy getting it back. DeLargy, who, this is how you know you've been in the coaching game for a while. DeLargy's dad played goalie at Delaware under Bob Schillinglaw. Quick shot in front, stopped by Bering. A scrum for it just outside the crease. Bering is out there with it as well, so the net is unmanned, and it's going to be loose ball push, Delaware ball.
Great look inside for Delaware, but man, Bering, he's just finding ways to make saves. They're inside and outside, stick side and offside. He's making everything right now.
First team all CAA last year, and Andy Copeland said he's had his ups and downs, and he'd be the first guy to tell you that he's not had the season that he would have expected coming into it, but he's been playing better of late. Nice dodge inside, one shot in tight. Charlie Kitchen with the hands, and Delaware's within 2.
Delaware offense really had the defense confused. They focused on one side of the field. I really liked how they were dodging from behind on this set, and they just sort of overloaded one side.
How about the quickness of both feet and hands here, though?
The face dodge and then the low to high shot. Bering is not going to save that one. Not many goalies in the country are going to save that one. Just a great effort by Kitchen. A much needed goal for Delaware on the 6-on-6.
Charlie Kitchen, the freshman out of Marlton in New Jersey. 27th goal of the season. His older brother James is a member of the Hofstra team, so they see each other once a year as adversaries. Delaware getting a face-off win. Kitchen faking the shot. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter, and Delaware 2 goals in this quarter cut it to a 2-goal deficit.
And its first face-off win for the day.
Fairfield had won the first 7 and the first 2 so far in the second quarter as well. Straight away, it's Will Hirschman. Well, Rob, you get an idea that's the kind of thing that Delaware's going to have to do to kind of get Fairfield out of this zone, or at least shake it up a little bit.
They really do. For most of this first half, they've been dodging and controlling the ball above the cage, and you saw in that last goal they actually started from behind, and I like that with Roe McNally that they had. And man, that's exactly what you want to see.
There's Hirschman stepping into it from Roe McNally. And don't look now, but Delaware has scored 3 goals in this quarter to cut it to a 1-goal game.
Man, it's just an impressive shot from Hirschman, just as good as the look from Roe McNally, but this is from 15 yards out, overhand, low and away, his 17th goal in the season, and that's one of the better shots you'll see. Exactly how you teach it, coming right over the top, and he almost had a couple of screens there in between, and which made it very tough for Bering to see. Just a great goal and execution by the Delaware offense.
He has taken a leap production-wise in his senior year. 17th goal this year. He had 4 a year ago. That was one of the things that Andy Copeland was concerned about for Delaware, is how much senior leadership they have. Here's another one of those seniors, Simonetti, but he throws it away, and Fairfield will get it back.
Still encouraging to see. I mean, that was a clean face-off win for Delaware, which they weren't able to get at all in the first quarter. So all the things are going the right way for Delaware right now.
At the same time, you're putting a run together. You hate to have a careless turnover like that. few minutes since Fairfield has had the ball. Might see them take their time on this offensive series. Fairfield, a team that has had their share of close losses, tough losses, close games. One that might stand out, most of them out of conference, the overtime loss to Yale in double overtime, 11-10. There's a shot, saved by DeLuca. Not much of a problem for him there. Here come the Blue Hens in transition again. This is where they have been at their best. And Isa will veer off and back it away.
Another great save by DeLuca. He's starting to really see the ball. That was actually a good take, located in a good spot too. That was low to high, off stick side, but DeLuca standing tall, taking a good angle, and matching stick for stick. DeLuca getting hot.
Approaching the midway portion of this second quarter. 1 goal game, Delaware trailed by 4 at the end of the first quarter. Here's Charlie Kitchen. Had one of the most highlight goals for this contest. Romagnoli back in X. Hirschman trying to swim over the short stick defender and Ryan Antel. Romagnoli surveys Kitchen behind the back going wide. Had a good look at it in tight. Delaware a little 1-4 look right now. Tough pass. Ball kicked around. Romagnoli recovers. There's Kitchen to a cutter. Nobody slid over. Ball dropped as it was deflected and checked out. Going down is Bering. A whistle, and what are we going to get? It's going to be Fairfield ball.
Missed opportunity by Delaware there. They had the defense extended, which is what you want to do playing against a zone, and it left an attackman coming around the crease, but just unable to handle a pass and finish it. Huge break for Fairfield.
Steve DeLargy looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to pass or if he wanted to turn and fire it, and instead missed the short stick defender sliding over to him. Last game of the season for both teams. Delaware trying to go and get their first conference win of the season, send Coach Bob Schillinglaw out with a victory and get their first winning season since 2011. Fairfield trying to close it out with back-to-back conference wins. All gobbled up by DeLuca.
Delaware defense really finding their groove. As you can see, Collin Burke was just moving up the field. He got above the goal line extended. There was a slide already coming, so they're really making sure Collin Burke isn't going to hurt them going forward. And they're sliding quickly and getting the offense some more opportunities.
Alex Brunner sending it in. Youngest of 6 siblings is the short stick defensive midfielder for Delaware. So we'll go to Hirschman up top. The point man of that first line midfield for Delaware. Rupert Ortlieb coming in as well. Played 9 games last year after transferring from Providence his freshman year. Delaware moving the ball with some more expedience and pace now. Turnaround shot by Eisel, whistling high. Delaware will reinitiate the offense in the form of Charlie Kitchen. DeLargy and Hirschman up top. DeLargy's been quiet so far today after the 4 goals last week against Drexel. DeLargy getting it, pushed to his right. Thought about unleashing it instead feeds it off to the right side for Ortlieb, who sends it wide. Well, after the slow start, the first quarter break seemed to be exactly what Delaware needed to kind of regroup things.
Yeah, they've done a few things right in this second quarter, starting with the face-offs. They made great adjustments on defense, and then the offense really started clicking 6-on-6. They got the ball into Rob McNally's hand. You started having a couple assists, generating some offense. And, you know, that's what happens. You start creating goals, creating opportunities on fast breaks, and Delaware's been pushing the ball effectively.
Back up top for Hirschman, swims over the defender, comes to the right side for Kitchen, and that one cleared the high netting behind the net. Talk about low to high. And we're gonna get a timeout here. Fairfield takes it. The CAA regular season wraps up tomorrow with a matchup between two of the top teams in the conference when the 10th ranked Hofstra Pride pay a visit to number 19 Towson. Both teams currently 3-1 in CAA play and are probably the two favorites heading to this week's conference tournament. Face-off set for noon tomorrow with the pregame show coming your way at 11:30 a.m. And not only that, but after the final up in Amherst, UMass beating Drexel 14-8. That is also a matchup to determine who will be the host school for the CAA tournament. Both Drexel, Towson, and Hofstra were 3-1 coming into the weekend, but UMass handing Drexel the loss eliminates them from hosting. Both those schools will still be in the conference tournament.
Just some good drama in the CAA, a bunch of really good teams. Drexel and UMass have improved as the year has gone on. Hofstra and Towson have had, you know, really good starts to the season, a little bit inconsistent towards the second half, but they're rated high. But I think you could, you know, definitely this conference is due or potentially due for an upset within the conference, because these teams, all four of them, I think are worthy of the auto bid and can have some damage even in the NCAA tournament.
Drexel with the 3 wins in conference after falling today. They will be the 3 seed, and UMass the 4 seed. And I don't know if you're Hofstra, I think obviously you want the top seed. I don't know if you want to face Drexel again, or you do want to face Drexel again after they handed Hofstra their only loss of the season so far. DeLargy. And not only that, Drexel lost to Towson by a goal, so they're a scary team to play, whoever loses the game tomorrow in the first round. Left side, Kitchen will try it again. Been impressed with the speed on Kitchen's shot in this game so far.
Yeah, a little bit of a deflection there. Fairfield able to match the stick and deflect the shot.
Rob McNally trying to turn it around quickly. Out of bounds, and it will be retrieved by Steve DeLargy. Grad student out of Morristown, New Jersey.
Matt, I'm interested to see if the refs almost start the shot clock here, because it's been a long possession. They haven't been dodging, really just taking outside shots. The shot clock was really instituted to prevent this type of play that the zone sort of forces. So I'm interested to see how that refs handle this, because this has been one long possession.
DeLargy would have loved to unfurl that one there, but he got tangled up, and a shot coming up high, going over the head of Berry. They had it called on them once earlier in the game, but throughout that first quarter, there were probably opportunities where it could have been thrown up as well. Here's DeLargy with the short stick, dumping it off to the right side. Back again behind the cage, feeding it back up. DeLargy shooting up high, and we're tied at 5.
DeLargy coming off a career-high 4 goals last week. I love this brand of offense for Delaware, dodging from the wing and then moving the ball through X, through Rob McNally, who's got his head up. And he's been feeding the ball incredibly well today. DeLargy getting out of his stick incredibly fast. As you can see, right in the box, and actually goes stick side high. Just the speed that comes out of the stick and how quickly he got it out just makes it tough for Bering, and another goal for Delaware in this second quarter.
Not only that, but the time DeLargy catches it 2 defenders coming at him. They're both at least 5 yards away, so he's got plenty of space to step in and power up. Ground ball again to Delaware. Blue Hens doing a better job on the faceoffs. Unable to be handled though. Bearing out of net, trying to get the ground ball and a battle for it behind the decks. Picked up by Kitchen. Bearing trying to scurry back quickly to his cage, and he does so. Delaware with 2 minutes to go in the first half, threatening for the first lead of the game. Kitchen going wide. The chase is on, and that ball's not going to go out of bounds, so Bearing's got to get back quickly. He's been very aggressive the last few minutes out of cage. DeLarge had the game tying goal back within his stick. Hirschman back to DeLarge, shooting for the left side this time, sending it wide. And Delaware looks like they will take a timeout with 1:37 to go.
Timeout, Delaware.
The CAA semifinals are coming to Lac Sports Network. See the top 4 teams from the regular season square off for the right to be the tournament champion and earn an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. The men's semifinals are set for May 4th, with the regular season champ acting as the host. The women's tournament gets underway on May 5th at Towson University. See all 4 games live and exclusively on Lac Sports Network. The CAA Game of the Week on Lac Sports Network. It's all Laccess. Again, neither of these teams will partake in the CAA tournament. I think a lot of teams, or a lot of people, would have expected Fairfield to be in there coming into this season. Both seasons that they've been in the CAA, they were regular season champs in 2015, 2016. And from Andy Copeland's standpoint, he said, maybe I think I got a little overzealous on the schedule this year. We lost some midfielders that we didn't quite realize how big of a loss they were going to be, and the team came along perhaps a little bit slower than he anticipated, but he feels like they are moving in the right direction, so he feels like it's more just a one-year lull and they'll be back in the conversation next year.
Yeah, I think as far as scheduling goes, I think hindsight's a little bit of 2020. Teams like Rutgers, Stony Brook, Yale, Penn State, these are teams that are not normally within, or at least all 4 of them within the top 15.
Yeah.
I think those teams were better than most people would have thought in the preseason, so I think it's a little bit of both, but Fairfield has a lot to look forward to with the future, especially with Collin Burke running the offense behind the cage.
I mean, if you said before the season, we're going to face 2 Big Ten teams that'll be #1 in the country at some point, I don't know if Rutgers and Penn State would have been your 2 first picks. Here's a quick look in front. Bearing going across hip side to make the stop.
Man, was that a big save. We're towards the end of this first half. Fairfield has barely had the ball in the second quarter. Huge save for Bearing, creating a fast break opportunity. More importantly, just a break for the defense.
And now Fairfield will use their last timeout of the half with 56 seconds left. Again, in this quarter, it's been all Delaware. Fairfield jumped out to a 5-1 start in the first quarter, and Delaware, as we talked about, coming in, alumni coming in. That's resonated with him just as much as any of the things on the field this year.
Really important opportunity for Fairfield's offense to go in with a goal if they can to finish up this first half.
Here's Fleming in front, the step by DeLuca, extending out the right leg and kicking it away. 30 seconds left in the first half, tied at 5. Panapinto has the short stick on him. Cutting it inside, turning around to Luca, going down low for the stop again. Ground ball to Delaware for the moment, but then they keep it in bounds. Looked like it was going out. Delaware's got it. Remember, both teams out of timeout with 10 seconds left in this first half. Battle for the loose ball right around midfield. Delaware wins it, heave it over and into the attacking area, but a good last-ditch effort by Nick Panera to make sure that Delaware did not get a shot off there. So back and forth, helter-skelter type situation. At the end of first half, we're tied at 5.
Just a couple outstanding saves by DeLuca in goal for Delaware. My God, as he had a good second quarter especially. But those were two, they weren't just okay saves, they were outstanding. The Fairfield attack, exactly where you want to put it. Ben DeLuca, 6'6", is able to do the split and save the ball on the off pipe, far pipe. Just incredible save by the young guy.
As an opposing attacker, do you have a different approach when you're facing a goalie that size?
I do, for sure. I mean, from there, as you can see the attack, when he kind of just went straight low, which for DeLuca, he was just able to come across and follow stick for stick. I definitely try to fake high to keep him high and then try to shoot it low, because then it's so much tougher for him to get there.
Andy Copeland, the Fairfield head coach, joining us now. And Coach, we'll start with the good in that first quarter. Collin Burke, as we talked about this week, he's been able to mature into that distributor and goal scorer. What'd you see from him in the first quarter with the 3 points?
Great. I'm proud of the guys. The overall team first quarter effort, I thought, was very good. We came ready to play. We had that fast start that we were talking about all week. I'm really just disappointed in that second quarter. We just did not play well, played far too much defense, and you know, they kind of figured us out a little bit. They made a run, and we talked about that in between quarters. We certainly weren't out of the woods with that fast start. So 30 more minutes, we got to buckle down and try to find a way to get this one. Yeah,
Coach, great first quarter. The zone worked really well for you guys, but like you said, when you're in a zone, it's hard to cause turnovers. Is that something you're thinking about going towards the second half, getting into man possibly, and trying to force the Delaware offense a little bit?
Yeah, no doubt. We got to be prepared to kind of mix and match there a little bit. They definitely figured us out as the half wore on, so you know, we can't you know, kind of give them any more real opportunities that. You know, they just generated some really high-quality shots there and kind of figured us out. So, yeah, we got to be prepared to mix and match for sure.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
Andy Copeland, the Fairfield head coach, as his team surrenders the 4-goal lead going from the first to the second quarter. And we're all tied up at 5 right now between Delaware and Fairfield in the CAA Game of the Week. And our score here at halftime at Conway Field, it's 5-5. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half, but first an update on everything that's happening on this busy Friday in college lacrosse. We'll send it back to the LSM Broadcast Center.
Joining us on the field is Madonna Sacco, a member of the Fairfield University class of 1977. Madonna is a breast cancer survivor and now plays an integral role on the Norman Green Breast Center President's Council. Also in the field is Joan Winter, who received her graduate degree from Fairfield University in 1982. Joan is a 17-year breast cancer survivor and was one of the first patients to go through the Norman Green Breast Center. Joining Madonna and Joan to accept the check are Joan's daughter, Emily, Fairfield University student, Nancy Church, Community Education Coordinator for the Norman Green Breast Center, and Marlene Batista, member of the Norman Green Breast Center Advisory Board, and 2016 Pink Pledge Chair. Presenting the check for a total of $1,920, our Director of Athletics, Gene Norris, and Vice President of Marketing and Communications, Jen Anderson. Thank you to all the fans that have helped make the Her for Cure campaign a great success this year.
Welcome back to the CAA Game of the Week. Fairfield, Delaware knotted up at 5 in the last game of the regular season for both these teams. And we're joined now by Bob Schillinglaw, the head coach for the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. And coach, in that first half, I'd imagine you were pretty pleased with how your team responded after that first quarter. What'd you change up between quarter number 1 and quarter number 2?
We didn't change anything, to be honest with you. I thought we did a better job of executing, and you know, lacrosse is one of those games where there's going to be a spurt of goals by each team, and you know, they got theirs, and then we, you know, I thought we played really, really well in that second quarter. No real adjustments. We just started playing a little bit better and handling they're throwing a lot of all zone on defense, and I thought we did a better job of controlling it and getting quality shots. So I think first quarter, some of our shots were stick side high, and it was almost it's basically a turnover and a fast break against us. So we made some adjustments along those, but beyond that, guys are grinding, playing hard, and both teams are playing hard.
Coach, I'm sure you would rather him not have to play as well, but freshman goaltender Matt DeLuca had a great first half. Can you just talk about him and the year he's had so far?
Yeah, I mean, he plays like a senior, to be honest with you. You know, he's great mentality for a goalie. He's got quick hands. When he's in a groove and he's seeing the ball, and I think he's starting to feel that way right now, he's going to make a lot of saves, and out of that he's going to get the outlet ball out. And we've got some D-middies, Brunner and Matt Olbridge, that I think can run the field and create some interesting scenarios off of that. So I'm hoping he has a good second half.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bob Schillinglaw trying to win his last game as a head coach, and there you saw Matt DeLuca. Good first half for him. He had 7 saves, 2 of them coming late in that last 30 seconds or so by Fairfield, trying to go into locker room on top. And now we see the first half stats. A lot of shots by both teams, but not a lot of those on cage. Low percentage for both sides.
Yeah, and if you look at it between the first quarter and the second quarter, you know, it's really completely different. It's been a story of 2 completely different tales. First quarter dominated by Fairfield, especially in the faceoffs, winning the first 7 faceoffs. And then the second quarter, faceoffs were split, but Delaware really controlled the time possession and went on a 4-goal run and ended with 2 outstanding saves by DeLuca in goal.
So we go to the faceoff X. Fairfield still winning that battle, but Delaware got all 3 of those faceoff wins in the second quarter, which spurred their run. It's freshman Crosby Matthews for Delaware, Joe DeLasho, this junior, for Fairfield. So we're tied at 5 as we begin the third quarter. And Matthews had the face-off win. Here comes Delaware, high pass to the left side. Shot fake, goal. Easy for Delaware as Joe Eisel pumps it in. And the Blue Hens, the Fighting Blue Hens, have their first lead of the game.
Delaware now on a 5-goal run. Their first 2 goals were actually from transition, and they finally started getting in on a little bit of a roll in this 6-on-6 format. And then this one, created off a the face-off, is just a huge goal, really setting the tone for this second half.
Joe Eisel's got the hat trick already for Delaware, the sophomore. I mean, you look at this attack. Eisel's a sophomore, Kitchen's a freshman, and Romagnoli's a sophomore. So that spells good things for whoever does end up coming in and taking over for Bob Schillinglaw as head coach of Delaware.
And I'm sure Coach Schillinglaw is cognizant of that. I'm sure he's willing to leave on a year when he knows that there's starters coming back. It's easier for the guy, whoever comes in. Coach Schillinglaw, he's that good of a guy that, you know, he wants to leave it where he doesn't have to leave too much work for the guy coming behind him.
Especially because he's talked about, obviously he cares deeply about this program. It's been such a huge part of his life for such a long time. Here's DeLargy straight away.
So the first half, Fairfield played a zone the entire first half, and it actually slowed the ball down, but Delaware was still creating offense. Fairfield again coming out in zone, but effective now.
Spencer Noonan with a hard check to dislodge the stick and the ball, and got the ground ball to finish it off as well. That second quarter, Fairfield did not possess the ball very much. And when you don't have the ball in the stick of Collin Burke or any of your other attackers, hard to do a whole lot of damage. So on offense for the first time today, the Stags find themselves trailing on the scoreboard. Fleming dumping it to Panapinto. You can see the confidence from Delaware defensively as well. Back in the game, they're playing a bit further out. The checks are a little bit more aggressive. There's Fleming, who had a couple in that first quarter. Back behind for Burke, got his 100th career point earlier in this game. Burke dancing around the crease. And as you said, big difference defensively has been the play of Lally coming out instead of staying up top of goal line extended. Here's the dodge from Dylan Beckwith. And now it's Fairfield who's not able to get much interior presence.
Yeah, a lot of horizontal movement. They're not really dodging at the goal too much. It's made it easy for the Delaware defense to slide and push guys out. What I really want to see is Fairfield square up and attack their defensemen and give them a better opportunity to get a good shot with a good angle.
The shot clock is on, 20 seconds show on it. Here's Nassman, one of their big seniors, shooting it high. Nassman, two-time captain. ACAC all-rookie team as a freshman. 5 seconds on the shot clock now. Here's Fleming. Left side, Fairfield's got to dump it off. 1 second, intercepted by DeLuca. And either way, it would have been a turnover. Here come the Blue Hens, Matt Ulbrich. And Delaware's been so dangerous in transition today. Here's another opportunity, and going down low to make the save is Bering. Bering falling on top of it, but too late. The goal crosses the goal line. But a crease violation as Bering was falling on top of it.
It was a crazy sequence of events. Bering makes a save, and then a couple of hockey-like shots, and the ball actually trickles in, but as Matt said, referee calls inside the crease. Unfortunate call. Almost a crazy goal for Delaware there.
Delaware getting it back on a Fairfield turnover. Matt Ulbrich, defensive midfielder, showing some good hands and offensive moves on that sequence. Three and a half minutes into the third quarter, Delaware again on top for the first time this evening, 6-5. They've scored 5 unanswered goals. Pass fake, they come back up top for Hirschman. Here's Charlie Kitchen, and he'll swing it around to Romagnoli. Romagnoli back up top. Good ball movement. Ball dropped to the ground. Scooped back up, though, by Delaware. Ortlieb trying to send it down, and that's going to be a turnover. No pass. It was no shot. It was a pass. That went out of bounds.
Second possession in a row. Fairfield defense using the zone, able to create turnovers, which is often tough to do within the zone. So, you know, Fairfield defense up to the task, creating opportunities for the offense. Their offense hasn't scored in, you know, quite some time now. They didn't score in the second quarter, and it took a couple minutes before the first quarter expired, so it's been some time. And I think they're just being a little too lackadaisical, a little too passive. They need to start attacking this defense with vertical dodges.
Last Fairfield goal coming with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Here's Burke turning, firing, rifling it past DeLuca. And his 4th point today, Collin Burke tying it up at 6.
Just some textbook two-man play with the attackman behind. This is just a big-time goal by Fairfield's best player on offense, Collin Burke. really does a great job running his defenseman into the pick guy, takes a really hard check, drives towards the middle of the field, knowing he's going to take the hit, but shoots anyway. That was a huge goal, a really big goal. Collin Burke stepping up in a big time in a big game.
Once again, tied at 6, 5 minutes into the third quarter. Ball squirting all the way down into the Fairfield offensive end of the field. It's picked up by Panapinto. Neither of these teams wanted to go quietly into the night as their seasons will come to a close after this game.
Yeah, it's really what you love to see this. You can barely feel that this game is meaningless. It feels like you're in conference play. It feels like you're playing for a playoff spot, which is what you want to see from both sides. And I know both coaches got to be happy with the play so far.
Dump off to Burke behind X. Burke with the short stick on him. He's going to come out, try and feed it up across, and it's knocked down by Delaware's defense. Delaware, who had trouble clearing the ball throughout much of this season, that has not been the case today.
Just going back to the quality of play that we've seen from both teams today. In the first half, you only saw 6 turnovers, which is really impressive. And you just saw one there by Collin Burke. There's just been a limited amount of it, only a little bit of careless errors. Both teams playing very sharp, really high quality lacrosse so far tonight.
Part of that resulting in Fairfield settling back into a zone for much of this game. Swinging around once more, Ortlieb. Delaware's primarily only gone with about 4 offensive midfielders. Quick shot by Romangali, going wide. There's Joe Eisel with the hat trick already today. Romangali. Straight away again, it's Hirschman. Hirschman, a little 2-man game. Drops it, but gets it right back up off the fortuitous bounce. Right side swimming is Eisel. Eisel letting it go wide. Backing up is Romagnoli.
Delaware's been a lot more effective when they've been dodging or at least getting the ball through X. Ron McNally's had a couple of assists today, if not a couple of hockey assists as well. He's also had a goal. So, I mean, he's I think, really the quarterback of this offense. And right now, the ball's staying above the goal line, extended away from him. And they need to make sure that he gets his touches and generates the offense, which he's had already.
The midfielders have been most effective when they're getting the ball in shooting positions from Romagnoli today. Physical defense from Fairfield, jarring it loose of Hirschman. And the Stags will try and clear. Spencer Noonan in a little bit of trouble, and then he gets it away. Murphy in some trouble. He finds it forward. Here comes Fairfield very quickly. A shot ringing off the post and coming out of bounds. It was Jake Nassman with a great look at it and just missed on a goal. Would have been his 10th goal this season on senior day. Instead, Fairfield will just work into their offense. 6.5 to go in the third quarter, tie game. Here is Nassman loading up and firing wide. Nassman, a senior out of Brainbridge Island, Washington, again looking for the shot, and this time going high, and that time Connor Lally was closest to it as it went out of bounds.
I'd love seeing that. That's a great hustle play by Lally, anticipating the shot, using his speed to chase it down. Just a veteran play by the defenseman.
A good job by Delaware's Joe Eisel to keep that inbounds and getting to the spot where the ball was just about to go out on a dangerous outlet pass. Hadn't heard a lot from Jake Nassman today, and on the same possession, he takes 3 shots.
Delaware back on offense, and like I was saying before, they need to get the ball through X, through Ron McNally, because when the ball is just above the goal line extended, they're almost playing 5-on-6 because the 6 defensemen are really just controlling the 5 middies up top. So Ron McNally's had 3 assists today, and they really need to continue to get him his fair share of the ball.
Here is Kitchen behind. Eisel and Kitchen, they've both been very effective in terms of finishing. Ron McNally has been setting the table for them. Here's Ron McNally, again behind for Kitchen this time. Skip pass ahead, stepping into one is DeLargy, just missing on target.
Those are the takes that they want, because the midfielder, think about it, the midfielder is getting the ball from X. He's already squared up with the goalie. So DeLargy, you can see his reaction. You really wish he had that one back. But those are the type of looks that Delaware's been having, and they need to continue.
Here's Kitchen on the behind-the-back goal. Put a star next to that one. Delaware back on top. Ron McNally setting it up. And just as you talked about, initiating that offense from X.
This is just a great move, a roll dodge. Ron McNally dodging with his head up. And that was actually an around the world. I mean, I can't imagine too many coaches teach that, but Kitchen just with the crafty finish. Ron McNally with his 4th assist on the day.
'27th goal of the season for the freshman Charlie Kitchen. 2nd today. Delaware winning the faceoff. I talked about it in the second quarter, the speed in which the ball comes out of the pocket of Kitchen. You saw it there, that was around the world, and that thing launched out of his net.
Yeah, there's no way I could do that when I was playing. There's not too many players that can pull that off. You have to be so strong and so crafty. Incredible player.
Eisel working it back around, and Delaware, since that second quarter began, has been a different team. Quick look in front, Hirschman unable to hold on to it. Fairfield, the ground pole, but then scooped up by DeLargy. New life for Delaware on the offensive end. DeLargy, skip pass, short arms it, and it bounces towards midfield. And we're getting over back against Delaware. .345 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Fighting Blue Hens on top by a goal, 7-6 right now. Charlie Kitchen, the difference maker on his 2 goals. Panapinto. This is Dylan Beckwith. His older brother played at Adelphi. Here's Burke looking in front. Fleming, little cradle saved by DeLuca. Fleming able to recover though. In front, tough defense. Allows Panapinto and denies Panapinto to get the shot off. And they'll clamp it down for DeLuca one more time.
DeLuca, that has to be the 3rd or 4th save that he's made directly on the doorstep. 2nd time for Fleming. I'm sure Fleming would love those opportunities, but man, does DeLuca take up a lot of net. Cuts off the angle. Another outstanding save, really big time save for DeLuca.
It's also interesting how Don Eidson takes no chances, just places the ball right into the crease. So after turning the ball over on their last possession, Delaware quickly getting it back because of DeLuca's play in net.
Now, one thing that it's interesting to see now, Fairfield is now playing man-to-man. So they haven't played man-to-man all game today. How are they going to work with their slide packages, and how is Delaware going to handle this adjustment?
Look towards the crease. Bering able to come and gobble up the wayward pass.
Fairfield is going to eventually have to move out of that zone defense in order to create some turnovers.
And they get exactly what they need with 1:37 to go in the third. Down by a goal, Nassman stepping it in for Fairfield. Jake Nassman, interesting family lineage. Here's Collin Burke looking up top. Beckwith, Panapinto now. Nassman, his dad played basketball and baseball at Northern Colorado. His paternal grandfather was an All-American basketball player at Kansas State. And his maternal grandfather played football and basketball at Nebraska. So pretty good athletic genes in that Nassman family. Burke again stepping in. It was Rodriguez in prime position, but missed target.
Burke is finding his guys, Fleming, Rodriguez. These guys are getting the looks that they want, but they just haven't been able to get it on cage in the spots they want, or DeLuca's just making great saves.
Here's a freshman, Dylan Beckwith. 25 points on the season. Coming into today, 30-second show on the scoreboard. And Collin Burke, for the moment, looks like he'll take his time. That changes now. Burke coming goal line extended, draws a double slide. 17 seconds left. Burke tipping under one check. Coughs it up on the second. Flag coming down. And delayed penalty coming up with 8 seconds to go. And we await the official word. That's Burke in the box. Coming up high on that cross check.
Eight seconds left here in the third quarter. I would imagine Delaware is just going to hold on to this ball just so that they're man up going into the fourth.
And based on the body language, that's exactly what they're going to do. So Delaware trailed 5-1 after the first quarter. They lead 7-6 heading to the fourth quarter. It's the Fightin' Blue Hens and the Fairfield Stags separated by a goal as we head to the fourth quarter and perhaps the final frame in Bob Schillinglaw's illustrious coaching career for Delaware. Wonderful Friday night under the lights for our CAA Game of the Week. Finds Delaware leading Fairfield 7-6 as we start the fourth quarter play. Shortest Rob Engelke with you from Rafferty Stadium. Great lacrosse complex on the Fairfield campus. And Delaware beginning man up after the cross check from Collin Burke at the very end of that third quarter. Looking for their first 2-goal lead tonight. Hirschman tucking it inside, and a shot by DeLargy, saved by Bering. Out of bounds it goes. Delaware will keep it though.
Huge save by Bering. Every shot now is so important. These goalies are making point-blank saves left and right, really keeping their teams in the game. So important to finish when you can.
Bering came out just a moment. DeLargy lost that off his chest, but able to recover. Skip pass up top for Hirschman. Looking again, that same play to get DeLargy free. He's got it wide. Well, it worked once. Why not go back to it?
We're all even now, in Fairfield actually back in the zone defense. They're down by 1, still in the zone. It's something to keep an eye on for what Coach Copeland wants to do for the rest of this fourth quarter.
And the story, Fairfield jumped out to a 5-1 lead after the first quarter. Delaware got their footing after that, and they have limited the Stags to just 1 goal since that opening quarter.
Delaware's been really effective, or at least they've been the most effective when they're moving the ball behind through Kitchen, or especially Rob McNally, who has 4 assists today.
Up top it comes for Hirschman again. Hirschman. Now it's DeLargy getting tied up. DeLargy somehow able to hold on to the ball as he's chased out. Spencer Noonan chief among them. Up top they go to Hirschman again. Hirschman will wind and fire up wide.
This is when Delaware was on man up. DeLargy coming around the cage right off of Bering's face mask. Just great positioning.
Ro McNally dumping it off. Up top again, it comes for Hirschman. He sucks by the defender. Shoots up high, but Bering is there.
Bering with a couple of huge saves. Saves that are absolutely necessary for Fairfield to hold on and try to tie this game up.
Here comes Sam Murphy, one of the D-mids, a sophomore out of Cohasset, Massachusetts.
The Fairfield offense has only had 1 goal in over 2 quarters of play. They have to figure out a way to either get Collin Burke the opportunities, or guys like Fleming, guys like Beckwith or Rodriguez, they need to start finishing their shots, because DeLuca's had their number so far today.
Here's Nassman, who started looking for his shot towards the end of that quarter. Nassman moving in, falling just outside the crease and putting it home. We are tied, and it was Panapinto dodging hard and scoring the goal.
Panapinto really getting the green light today. A guy who's only got 1 goal in the year, stepping up big in a big time. That's just a great effort play, staying out of the crease and finishing in the far pipe, getting it past the DeLuca, who's been saving everything. So just a great effort from the kid, able to tie it up 7-7.
Just the 2nd goal of the season for Nick Panapinto. And a huge one for Fairfield.
And these are the guys that are going to really have to step up in this fourth quarter, because Delaware has so much concentration on Collin Burke. So they need other guys to have the individual efforts to create offense. And boy, did you see a display of that.
And a hold on the face-off. Delaware will have it. Last game of the season for both teams, neither going to the CAA tournament. Want to end the season on a high note. Romagnoli, they're working around for Paul Major. Look right on the crease, Kitchen, but it got by him. Tough pass for Kitchen to handle. It was about shin high. Left side for DeLargy, rolls back up top. And DeLargy's father played for Bob Schillinglaw from 1985 to 1987, won 2 East Coast Conference titles as a goalie for the Fighting Blue Hens. Generation later, his son plays for the same head coach. Skip pass almost found its way to Joe Eisel. Eisel shoveling it back, keeping it inbounds for a moment. Romagnoli gobbling it up for Delaware. Good extra effort by both sides. Romagnoli turns, shoots, fires, saved by Bering. And a penalty marker is down. Looks like Delaware is going to go man up.
Delaware was man up before. They were looking for DeLargy coming around the crease. Here you can see Romagnoli with actually the short stick, trying to have a low angle shot. I really just think he wanted to get the ball going and actually get his man up opportunity, which actually I don't mind. So now man up again for Delaware. Again, as I was talking about, DeLargy with the opportunities come around the crease with his right hand. A couple of great saves by Bering, was able to prevent the goal going in, but Delaware was creating opportunities.
Andrew Murrow on a 30-second penalty, and Delaware will be man up. Another chance, low to high. Bering's there for the stop. Bering getting chased now in a little bit of trouble. Finds it into the short stick of Sam Murphy. Murphy the double team to him. The penalty's expired and Bering will just send it downfield. DeLuca's there to catch it on the fly ball. And Delaware getting it right back. Bering aware of the clock in his head, trying to do something, and took a chance at it, but Delaware gets it once more. Pass knocked down. Fairfield, the loose ball. Nassman coming away with it.
A great deflection by Aiden Shank. It's hard to teach. He's a veteran guy creating the turnover. Huge stop by Fairfield yet again on man down, giving the Fairfield offense an opportunity to go ahead now.
Brian pick up the deflection on Nassman's shot in transition. 8:45 to go in the game, tied at 7 between Delaware and Fairfield. Fleming to the left side for Beckwith. Here's Patapinto, who tied the game a moment ago. Now Rodriguez. And in CAA play, he's been as hot as anybody. We'll have a whistle, a timeout taken by Fairfield.
We've seen a couple of great efforts by the goaltending. Bering just saving shots low, saving shots high. And then on the other side of the field, trying to push the transition. The defense just doing great hustle, staying on the midfielder. Just some good full field lacrosse. Tie ball game with just 8.5 minutes to go. Not much in terms of playoff, or actually nothing in terms of playoff consequences, but everything in terms of pride. In Coach Schillinglaw's last game, you're seeing a great display of lacrosse from both teams. And
you talk about Coach Schillinglaw in his last game, and Andy Copeland in his 9th season, so they've coached against each other in a couple conference games. And he said, as a fan of lacrosse, I've always had my eye on the Delaware program. I feel like they're always athletic in the midfield, back to when, obviously, when Alex Smith was there in the Final Four run. They're always good on faceoffs. And he said he grew up watching Hughes in the Carrier Dome with some of those 23, 22 games. And Delaware still has that element, and we've seen that today, when they love to get up, when they've had the opportunity to get up and down, and they've capitalized on some of those.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, it's that zone that really slowed them down a lot, and I love that move by Coach Copeland, really slowing the game down, controlling the pace of play, because the slower the game, the less goals that are on the board. I think it was going to be better for Fairfield. It's a tight game here, but I think that strategy just worked out well for Coach Copeland, especially now that they have the ball with the opportunity to go up and take the lead once again.
So out of the Fairfield timeout, the Stags go back to work. Here's Nassman. Behind the cage for Burke. Burke and Lally has done a really nice job on him since the end of that first quarter. Flag down. Penalty coming up on Delaware. Panapinto now with it. Double team coming over. Delaware got to be careful they don't pick up another flag and go 2 men down. Beckwith stepping into him, putting it home. Fairfield back on top. All power from the freshman, Dylan Beckwith.
You love to see the freshman to step up. Middle of the 4th quarter in a tie ball game. Dylan Beckwith has the short stick, gets to his left hand, his strong hand, uses the pick play. No one slides to him, and he shoots it low and away. DeLuca unable to save that one. Just a great individual effort by the freshman.
So Fairfield on top once more, 8-7 as we're midway through the 4th quarter. And they will go a man up on the penalty. And that a direct result of being man up for Fairfield, an easy face-off win. There was nobody on Joe Rodriguez's side, and the Stags knew that, played the face-off to him. So a huge opportunity for the home team. Up a goal, and man up as well with the ball. Sophomore Jack Brandon, part of the man up unit. Here's Murray. Back up top for Murray to the right side. Quick ball movement, knocked down. Trickles into the stick of Collin Burke. 8 seconds remain on the man advantage. Burke getting it back, quick stick, inside goal. Drew Murray. Fairfield has scored back-to-back goals to open up a 9-7 lead.
Just a beautifully designed play. The ball was going around. They were moving the ball very well, and there was a slip pick. Drew Murray acted like he was going to pick and actually just went through and made a cut. Collin Burke with another assist today. That was a great man-up play, great man-up team. Huge goal for Fairfield to go up by 2 now.
Goals coming 62 seconds apart for Fairfield, after they had scored just 1 goal since the first quarter. That'll be a face-off procedure. Fairfield will get it again.
To start the 3rd quarter, Delaware was up 1. It was a 7-6, and actually they had a man up. So they had that scenario. The Fairfield just had it. Delaware was unable to convert on their man up. Fairfield's able to tie it, go up by 1, then a man up, They've extended their lead now by 2. Just a huge change of events. Fairfield taking advantage of the opportunities.
6 minutes remain in the contest. Here's Jake Nassman. Left side for Rodriguez. Beckwith, who had a big goal a moment ago, runs by DeLuca. And DeLuca looked like he might have caught his cleat on the turf or so. Little hitch in his step trying to track that one down. Nassman, pass knocked down. Delaware has been effective at that in this second half, but not able to corral it yet. Finally they do, shoveled on forward. But Fairfield getting the ground ball. Logan Williamson in the good spot for the Stags. Second-year starter defensively for Fairfield in his senior season, playing in his senior game.
5 minutes left is plenty of time. Fairfield cannot be complacent. Delaware has a very lethal and can score very quick type of offense, so they really should just stay attacking. Their offense has been a lot sharper.
Beckwith, hot pass, handled by Rodriguez. That one might have been tough. Rodriguez to Nassman. Nassman now, Beckwith just around GLE. Fairfield on fire in the last minute or so. The hat trick today for Dylan Beckwith, the freshman.
Really good lacrosse. Nassman with the short stick draws the slide. Beckwith just catches it and sticks it near pipe. The defenseman on the far side, the next slide, was too concentrated on Collin Burke, did not come over. Dylan Beckwith, 2 huge goals at 2 huge parts of the game.
Fairfield's largest lead since the first quarter. They lead by 3 with 4:39 to go. And for as large a portion of this game as Delaware has seemed to control things, Fairfield has got the whole flow right now. And it is the Fightin' Blue Hens looking for answers in the late stage of this game.
The production that you've seen from guys like Nassman, from guys like Beckwith in this fourth quarter was exactly what Fairfield needed, because Delaware is focusing so much on Burke. Fairfield, in order to take this lead, needed other guys to step up. And boy, were those 2 guys up to the task. 3 huge goals for Fairfield this fourth quarter.
Here is Burke again, 5 points today. Burke, double team comes over, works around the defender. Burke lost it on the transfer, and DeLuca's got it. But a whistle on a push, and Fairfield will have it. Well, it's been a good crowd for the last home game of the year, last game of the year for Fairfield. Fleming shooting on the run, DeLuca eyeing that the entire way.
Three minutes to go is plenty of time. The problem is that Baring's just been incredible in goal as of late. Delaware needs to find a way, find the weaknesses in Bering and take quality shots to try and come back.
Well, Fairfield scored the go-ahead goal with 7:30 to go. Delaware has not had the ball since then, so it's been about 5 minutes since the Fightin' Blue Hens have even had possession. Side for DeLargy, dumbing it to X. Romagnoli looking right in on the cutter, and it almost got by Beckwith wit wide. Romagnoli's got it, shovel inside Beck, and Baring's got it. Big save by Bering in tight. Fairfield trying to clear. And Nassman taking some abuse near the midfield line, but doing his job and getting it into the box. Well, what, a second too late? Fairfield turns it over.
Delaware went into the 10-man ride. They had an extra guy down the field, forcing Fairfield to try and clear it, and it just took a lot more time than they wanted. Great job by the Delaware coaching staff doing the 10-man ride and creating a turnover.
Ulbrich stepping it in as Delaware will call a timeout. Here's that last save.
Rome McNally trying to do a Thompson brother-like backhanded shot. They've really made that shot a very popular one in Division I lacrosse. A lot of guys are getting effective at it. Beckwith with a huge save again. He's played incredibly well in this second half.
And it's easy to look at this Fairfield team and the record being 4-9, but this is a better team than their record really indicates. They lost to Yale by a goal in double overtime. They lost to Penn State by a goal. They had a pretty close loss to Hofstra, and they played Stony Brook fairly close. So it's a team that,
not to
the record is a
win
little,
against Towson.
and the win against Towson, the record's a little deceptive. And Andy Copeland, said it's easy to kind of look back at those missed opportunities. As a head coach, you're always doing reflection, the whole coulda, woulda, shoulda. But he said you got to grow from it. You got to take the experience of this year and build upon it. And if the last few minutes are any indication, it's a good mark for Fairfield after really being somewhat listless for a good portion of this second half, coming live late.
And they're really not losing too many guys, so I think there's a lot to look forward for Coach Copeland and Fairfield. Delaware now, minute and a half left, 3 goals to go. Tough task to come back, can certainly be done. They just need to start taking their chances early on. An unfortunate turnover.
Well, they were looking for one there and turned the ball over. Fairfield, though, having a little trouble clearing it cleanly. And Burke unable to hold on to it. Delaware throwing it around now, though. The near sideline kept alive by the Fighting Blue Hens and Kitchen for the moment, but he was going out of bounds, throws it over his shoulder. And it's gobbled up by Sam Murphy of Fairfield.
Looks like Fairfield just caught a break there. They might have been offsides, but the ref didn't see it.
Here's Burke going low, beating DeLuca. 6th point of the day for Collin Burke. And Fairfield just put this game away with 54 seconds left.
Unfortunate break for Delaware. Beckwith went over the line as an attackman, went over to his defensive side. The referees didn't see it. Collin Burke, just a sophomore, 6 points on the day. Final game of the year. He really is one of the best players in the country, and I love the way he takes over the game. Huge goal, putting the last nail in the coffin for this game, it looks like.
All-American honorable mention last year for Collin Burke. Talked about the CAA co-player of the year last year. And got the scoring started for Fairfield, and he might bookend it. But a timeout taken by Bob Schillinglaw and company. And Bob Schillinglaw coaching in his last game, 39 seasons as the head coach of the Fighting Blue Hens. And imagine it's got to be a bittersweet moment for him right now. Knowing where his team was a couple minutes ago, and knowing that this is the finality not only for him but for his seniors, and that with 38 seconds left, there's not a whole lot they can do about it.
Yeah, I want to go back to the beginning of the 4th quarter where Delaware was up 7-6 and actually had started the quarter man up. and they weren't able to convert. And then from there, Fairfield really kind of controlled the quarter, but Delaware had that opportunity. They had the opportunity to go up by 2. They were winning face-offs. This game really could have gone the other way, but you know, it's a game of momentum, game of opportunities, and Fairfield's the one that scooped up the ground balls and finished the ball where they could.
Post-game, Coach Schillingwall is going to join us as well as Coach Copeland and somebody else from the Fairfield side. Delaware's got it with 35 seconds left. A pass, they'll turn it over. So with 8 minutes to go in this game, it was tied. Fairfield got the go-ahead goal with 7:31 left in the contest. They scored 2 more in about a minute and a half stretch, and they never looked back. Fairfield will end the season on back-to-back wins against Towson and Delaware in the conference. And here's a look on a turnaround shot. And why not, for good measure, Bering getting the stave to close it out. And Fairfield, back-to-back wins to finish the season. 11-7 today over Delaware.
Collin Burke had an outstanding game, but I really think it was the other guys in the offense. It was Dylan Beckwith. It was Drew Murray. It was a whole host of guys that really contributed, especially towards the second half, and that's exactly what they needed. Just a great team effort for Fairfield.
Well, Bering finishes with 15 saves. And there you see Bob Schillinglaw bringing his team over for what'll be the last time in his coaching career. We'll take a break. Come back, we'll be joined by Coach Copeland, Andy Copeland of the Fairfield Stags. Collin Burke, 6 points today as the Stags win 11-6. Back to our CAA Game of the Week. Tyler Behring had 15 saves to close out his career as Fairfield beats Delaware 11-7 in the final game of the season for both teams. And Collin Burke, sophomore, joins us now. 6 points today for you, Collin. But the end of that game, what was the difference offensively that got you guys going back to what you looked like in that first quarter?
You know, in the first quarter, you know, we had great ball movement, and we found the crease, and a bunch of guys were open inside. And I think in the second quarter, we kind of we went away from that a little bit, and we were trying to be a little too selfish. So later on in the game, in halftime, Coach Copeland said, you know, just keep moving the ball and you know, find the open guy, and we managed to pull out with the W.
Collin, really great game today, man. You're great year, and you're gonna have a great career. Could you just talk about how nice it is to go and finish this season with great wins against Towson and Delaware?
Yeah, I think that's huge, you know, especially moving forward. But first off, just for our seniors, you know, today was senior day, and you know, I just gave my all, and the team gave our all. You know, we wanted to go out with a win for those guys, and then just moving forward, you know, just for the season. Next year, you know, we just want to keep that going off of that momentum, and hopefully have a better year this year, next year than this year.
And also the way that you guys finished with some of the close losses that you end up having. How much can you take away from the way that you finished the game today?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. You know, we finished. You know, look at those games against Penn State. You know, we just couldn't finish, and you know, today and last Saturday against Towson, you know, we finished. We came through with the W, so it was a good win.
All right, Collin, appreciate it. Congratulations on the win today.
Thanks you so much.
Again, Collin Burke with 6 points today for Fairfield in the winning effort. We'll be joined by Andy Copeland, his head coach, in just a minute. As Collin Burke got the scoring started. He was very balanced. 3 goals, 3 assists. And he is part of the bright future for Fairfield. You look at him, you look at guys like Dylan Beckwith, and you look at Travis Ford, who's the CAA Rookie of the Week this week from the win over Towson. There's some good pieces going forward for a Fairfield team that's been in the top of the CAA the last couple of years. Obviously, this year being a little down year for them. So now we'll bring on Andy Copeland, the head coach of Fairfield. And Coach, what do you see from your team, the way that you were able to finish in that quick flurry of goals?
Yeah, it's just a resilient group. They honestly have been all year. I mean, you know, 2 weeks ago, we knew that we didn't have a chance to extend our season, and honestly, the fact that we finished the last 2 weeks 2-0 against 2 really high quality opponents, that tells you a lot about the guys in our locker room right now. So I'm awfully proud of them.
Coach, congratulations on the win and a great season. Can you just talk about what you told the guys? You know, you finished the year great, but I know there's no playoff picture. But can you just talk about what you told them in the last meeting?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just told them the big picture in life is that you honestly need to learn how to handle some success, and you have to learn how to handle some failure or some adversity. And we've kind of seen both this year, and this senior class has seen both during their last 4 years. And it you know, it's never perfect. You just need to kind of keep working and keep moving things in the right direction. And that's what we've been able to do this year. You know, it kind of clicked a little bit late for us, but it clicked, and I'm just really proud of our seniors, and I'm really proud of the guys too for just kind of handling a difficult situation the right way.
I don't know if you had a chance to on the handshake line, if you got to talk to Coach Schilling-Law. If you did, what did you say to him?
Yeah, he's just such a great man. He's an old soul. I mean, honestly, I'm going to miss him a lot. Just he kind of the godfather in our sport, really. Kind of belongs on the Mount Rushmore, and he's just like such a quality person, just filled with decency, and you know, he kind of understands coaching, understands the impact that it can have on young people. He loves his guys. He's been loyal to his school. He's all that's good in college lacrosse right now.
All right, Coach, on that note, we'll let you go. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the win and the back-to-back wins to close out the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And Andy Copeland for Fairfield. Imagine they'll be back within the CAA playoff picture next year. 2 CAA regular season titles in the first 2 years in the league. Little down year this year, and Coach Schilling-Law getting on headset. He's going to join us. And Coach, what's this moment like for you right now as the end is finally here for you?
You know, obviously, you put 42 years together, and something that you really love, and with the people that you love. It's an emotional time, and all those guys, you know, they've been great this year. So, you know, they battled hard. Credit to Fairfield. They got a little bit of a burst there and ran with it and got goals when they needed to, right then when it was important. And we were ahead 8-7, and they came back. And you know, CAA's typical CAA, black and blue type conference. So they played well, and I can't thank the team enough at the end there about how much what they put into the season and their effort they put in today.
Coach, we can hear the emotion in your voice. That last huddle after the game, what did you say to the team? What did the team say back to you? Who addressed you? If you could share that.
Well, the big thing was, you know, I just told them that I loved them, and you know, they're my 49 sons, and that I'll always be there for them and help out in any way I can. You know, with alums or you know, following out their careers and making sure you know that I'm there to help them in any way.
Yeah. Coach, just the last thing, we spoke with Coach Copeland, and he called you, you know, one of the godfathers of lacrosse and belong on the Mount Rushmore. Can you just talk about, you know, what you're most proud of as you're exiting the field?
I'm sorry, what I'm most proud of?
Yeah, just what you're most proud of in your career.
You know, that, you know, I gave 120% effort and you know, trying to establish a program, but most importantly that I wanted to be there for players as they go through a collegiate experience, and you know, I felt that certainly was what I've done, and a lot of the alums have been just fantastic today, and a lot of them, you know, had texted me and said that, hey, they are where they are today because of me, so it meant a lot to me. You know, it's obviously very emotional.
Coach, we appreciate your time. We congratulate you on wrapping up a fine career, and I'm sure the Delaware community, the lacrosse community, will miss you and wish you well at the same time.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Again, Bob Schillinglaw coaching in his last game for Delaware, wrapping up a 39-year career for the Fightin' Blue Hens. Unfortunately for the blue and gold, did not get the win today. Fairfield closing out the regular season with a victory today. Once again, our final score is 11-7 Fairfield. Thanks for watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lac Sports Network. For Rob Engelke and our entire crew, I'm Matt Shortis. Coming up next on LSN, get caught up on the CAA action from today, as well as all the news from the sport of lacrosse on Lacrosse Now.